All right, welcome back. This is Dr. Lisa Smelser, and this is your tour of what to expect with our Mastering Biology platform, both with assignments and also with self-study materials. So usually our class will take you to the calendar once you're in our class. You're going to click over here on the Mastering Biology link. And this is where you can click into it. Your initial, I guess, screen may look a little bit different than this because what we're essentially doing is we're linking mastering with Blackboard. It has some limitations, but after logging in once, you shouldn't have to log in again if you're entering always through Blackboard, which is great news. So this is where you could get a 2-week temporary code. So if your textbook is delayed, if your access code is delayed, you can get 2 weeks of temporary access. It is critical that you come back and enter in your access code because that temporary access will shut off after 2 weeks. So once you get through either creating an account or if you have a previous Pearson login, you can use that as well. One of the main places where you will want to go is the mastering assignments. This will take you to a direct link to our assignments in the class, and I'll click on that here in a minute. There should also be a section that says e-text. So this is the e-book version of your hard copy book. So some of you may have decided just to purchase the access code and you're comfortable using the e-text only. That's completely fine. I prefer to have something actually physically in my hand. And so some of you may have chosen to buy the loose leaf book, and then that will also come with an access code. So either way, you'll have access to the e-text. It's a pretty interactive book in terms of clicking through it. I'm sure there are some settings that are preferable to others. When in doubt, try a different browser. And then kind of the last item that is relevant to you is going to be the study area. And I'll actually go to the study area first. There are no assigned assignments in the study area. As it alludes to, this is entirely a self-study section. So if you're looking for a framework to study for exams and to get through the material in addition to the assigned work, this is a great place to go. You can study by chapter. And so this will take you to all of the resources in any given chapter. So for certain chapters that we do, this may be a great tool to use. Chapter 1, I think we do almost all of the sections, so it may work fine for, but it is laid out per module or per section is what I usually refer to it as. So if we don't have a certain section or module on the course calendar, then you can go on to the different one. But there are different guided tours for each unit. Some of those may be assigned in your mastering homework that we'll look at in a minute. For example, the all living organisms share certain properties. That'll be an assigned item in your homework. You can also see there's a practice test here. I highly suggest doing that multiple times before test day. That is a great practice. And I would do that with your textbook closed so that you can get a real feel for where you're at. There are also connections to the material. So for example, germs on a plane, very relevant in the COVID times. And then there are also these MP3 tutoring sessions. So I think of them as like podcasts or talk radio. And so they're based on the topic. So that's one way that you can get through the self-study area. Another way is if you're looking for guided reading activities. This could be a great thing to go through. I do think our textbook is relatively readable, meaning it is not a thick science textbook with teeny tiny print. It's pretty interactive. It's got pictures, lots of color, lots of kind of stop and make you think moments, but the guided reading activities may be helpful if you need a little bit more of a framework. Again, when you're in the study area, this is all self-study. Nothing is for points in here. If you know you're looking for a practice test, you can come directly here. So you can take the Chapter 1 practice test. You'll just have to do a little bit of kind of self-sorting because it contains all sections for Chapter 1, and we don't necessarily do all sections, but the practice tests are a great resource. The 3D animations and the video tutor sessions and the guided video tours are fantastic. Some of them may be assigned in your homework. Some of them I might post an Amoeba Sisters link to. For example, we've got the tour of the plant cell and animal cell, which will be part of this unit. I posted the Amoeba Sisters version in Blackboard, but you might want to see the Pearson version that correlates with the text and with the image in the text. So feel free to take a look at these. These are extra videos. I think they do Pearson does a really nice job with their videos that I think help with understanding. You also have this vocabulary study tools, and then also this getting ready for biology. So if you feel like you just need a little bit of brush up on study skills, a basic math review, terminology, maybe some biology basics, chemistry and cell biology, you have access to this. So if you feel like you need information at a more foundational level, you can come to this Get Ready for Biology section and it will have resources for you. So again, all of the study area is not assigned work. It is all self-study and designed to help you. What is assigned is you can click on Mastering Assignments, and I have updated our course schedule so it now has mastering due dates on Tuesday and on Thursday. It's not that you're going to have something every single Tuesday and Thursday, but I would plan on a majority of Tuesdays and Thursdays having something due, and it might be a short assignment like the introductory assignment, or it may be a little bit bigger like this first assignment here. So when you log in, it is in list form. You can get it in calendar form as well if you prefer that. So our first working assignment is due on the 1st at 11:59 p.m. And when you click into it, I'm going to give you a student view here. It'll tell you approximately how long the assignment will take. For these homework assignments, you can log in and start it and then come back to it later. I will tell you, usually I try to keep these math assignments around 30 minutes. This particular first one had lab information in it as well, particularly with graphing. So that's why it's just a little bit longer. So I do try to keep them around 30 minutes. Feel free to break it up. So you could do half of it and then come back to half of it. There are several different types of questions. Some of it will be reviewing key concepts. Some of them may be a video tour and answering a few questions. And then some of them may be kind of reading quizzes. So I think I would suggest doing your homework after you've taken a look at the Blackboard material. That way you have an idea of what to expect. So this is kind of a an after you go through the material a little bit type of assignment. You can always click on the grading policy, so you get 3 tries per question, and then you do have some credit that is lost for each incorrect answer. You can use the hints, so there's no penalty, there's no bonus for using or not using the credits, so feel free to use the credits. And then in terms of late assignments for mastering only for these homeworks, it is a reduction of 10 points per day. So that gets us to the point where if you accidentally forget on that day, you can still do it the next day for a majority of credit, and it will tout at 10 days after it is due, no credit is available. And that gets us close-ish to exam dates usually, because we want to make sure that we are keeping pace. So you can always take a look at that. You can print the questions. Once you work the questions once and get your score, you can come back and look at them another time. This last question, the scientific thinking one, is probably one of the longer ones, and it's why the time is so much longer than the 30 minutes that I try to shoot for. So I think you can get through, more than half of it in the 30-minute kind of goal that I have. There's no time limit. You can use your book. I highly encourage you to do that. I want to make sure that you're thinking through the material and that you have a chance to kind of explore and check and investigate before we get to the exam. So this particular assignment covers the scientific method and life, which if we look at our suggested course pacing document, gets us through the rest of this week, which is why it's due Tuesday of next week. So next week you can anticipate there being at least one more mastering assignment, maybe 2, depending on the coaching sessions that I can find in the mastering assignments. I will try to get that posted as soon as possible, but you can anticipate probably 2 to 3 assignments per unit on mastering for lecture. For this particular unit, I included some of the lab components in with mastering. Sometimes they'll be separate. Sometimes we won't have any lab content here in mastering, and it will all be in our Blackboard content. So the grade books do talk to one another of mastering and Blackboard. It is not automatic though. I have to go download it and tell them to talk to one another. So if you're seeing your score in mastering, but it's not in Blackboard yet, I will upload that. I will probably wait until the due date to make sure I catch everyone I can. And I do think I still have a little bit more cleaning up to do in the grade book. But that should give you a good idea of what is available in mastering. And as always, you can attend student hours. Happy to answer email and also talk on the phone. Have a great evening.